Hello everyone, my name is Bryan Copeland. I'm the Redstone Arsenal Readiness and Resilience Integrator, and I have the pleasure of being here with Fox Army Health Center's own dietitian, Ms. Heather Hough. Round of applause, please.
Hello.
So how you doing, Ms. Hough?
I am doing fantastic. How are you doing today?
Let me tell you something. Just this brief conversation here, I'm like a Tony the Tiger mantra. I'm not feeling good. I'm feeling great.
Well, that's
it's
excellent.
Great to be here with you. Ma'am, you know, we have the holidays coming up. Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. And individuals will be taking up the position as a potato, a vegetable.
Yes.
Individuals will be taking up those potato positions on the couch. After eating and enjoying holidays meals and fellowshipping with their families, members, and friends. As they enjoy these meals, we're going to talk about how they can exercise, right, to maintain or lose that weight from the meals that they enjoy with their family members and the exercises that they can do. But let's talk about what individuals can do, not just only for the holidays, and I'm going to ask you about yourself first, but not just for the holidays, but as a routine and a regiment daily. Because as a dietitian, I just tell you within the last 3 minutes, you taught me a lifetime, 55 years worth of information in 3 minutes that just actually blew my mind. So one, can you tell us about yourself? And what your responsibility here is?
Well, I'm the dietitian at Fox Army Health Center. I am the only dietitian at Fox Army Health Center. So my job is to provide nutrition counsel to individuals who have access to Fox.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So I do individual and group counseling.
And those individuals you said, so me as a civilian, I can come up and get the assistance and the help that I need. Okay.
As a beneficiary, as a TRICARE beneficiary, if you can come to Fox, I can help you.
Okay, as a TRICARE, absolutely.
Yep.
Okay, and so that's kids as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, so ma'am, how long have you been doing that job?
Well, I've been a dietitian for over 15 years, and I have been at Fox since 2014 with a tiny break from 2018 to 2022 to go work and live in Germany.
What part of Germany?
Landstuhl.
Landstuhl. You worked at Larmsee? Were you at Larmsee?
I did.
Absolutely. I tell you, schnitzel and steak. And how did you maintain all that good food over there? How did you make the recommendations to our fighting men and women and family members over there? Because that food is absolutely, their steaks are not like steakums.
Well, I mean, the food is delicious, and I definitely ate it all, okay? But I practice what I like to call gentle nutrition, helping people break down their barriers to the changes that they want to make. And so I think when we come at nutrition, especially from a gentle place of how are we going to get somewhere, where are we trying to go, that it doesn't feel quite as maybe just difficult. That sometimes I think when we talk about diet or nutrition, it seems to feel like that's going to be such a difficult or massive change. And I think if we take it from a gentle space, it becomes more manageable and more kind and more something that we can do.
So we're glad to have you back here on Redstone as well as U.S. soil to support the overall health and welfare and holistic health of the Redstone Arsenal community. And not only do you support individuals who come to see you to get assistance, but you're also part of the physical health working group to ensure that you assist and provide information to our tenant unit representatives, our soldiers, family members, civilians, contractors, as well as retirees. It's great that we have the availability to utilize someone with a wealth of knowledge to support our holistic health physically, because if you look good, what's the other term? You feel good. If you look good, you feel good. So what do you recommend that individuals do over the holiday or eat or practice after they've had that big meal to sustain a healthy, because now, as you educated me, a healthy eating habit. Is that a good way to put that?
That's okay. I like it. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know, because
Right.
you educated me on something, so I want to ensure that I better myself and use the right terminology, and we can educate individuals who are listening to this podcast. And everyone I know will have their own interpretation and have their own way of thinking.
For sure.
Right? But knowledge is power.
So I do take out the word healthy a lot of times when I'm having a conversation, just because the word healthy comes with some stigma and it comes with some bias and it comes with some feelings that maybe I want to help my patients shift away from. So I don't really use that word, but I'm not offended if you use it. I think it's okay for you to use it. I think the biggest thing that we can do is try to maintain consistency throughout our year, throughout the holidays. So consistency with our movement, finding your joyful movement, finding the way your body likes to move so that you can always do it, which may take changes as we age or changes as we come up against certain physical disabilities or physical issues, and then trying to maintain consistency with our eating schedule. So not skipping meals or going long periods of time without eating, even on a day like Thanksgiving. I know that mentality of, we'll just wait until Thanksgiving dinner is ready and we'll wait all day long. No, eat consistently throughout the day. The way that we can eat in a way that we can stop at comfortable fullness and not eating to that Thanksgiving Day fullness, I don't feel like I can move, comes from eating regularly throughout the day, not waiting to eat only once in a day.
Is there, as you talk about that, and I've heard that, and this is good for our audience, as you talked about consistency and eating throughout the day, is there a recommended, some people say eat every 2 hours. Mm-hmm. Some people say eat peanut butter, because peanut butter, a scoopful of peanut butter, a half a teaspoon or a tablespoon of peanut butter will fill you until you have something else. Is there a recommended time, or just when you feel the urge that you have a hunger?
So I honestly would say the recommended time is honoring your body's signals of hunger when they're happening. So if your body is signaling to you that it is hungry every 2 hours, then you might be a person who needs to eat every 2 hours. If your body is signaling to you that it would like to eat every 3 to 4 hours, then we want to honor the hunger signals that we're receiving. I do think, though, along with that thought pattern, is if you can go 4 or 5 or 6 hours without having any signals of hunger, then there's a chance that you have had some maybe long periods of time where you've been skipping meals. And so you might not be receiving your hunger cues. And so in individual work, I sometimes help people realize a schedule for themselves and a redevelopment of those hunger cues.
What does that mean, a redevelopment of those hunger cues?
So eating regularly at intervals that we might start to determine with the clock in the beginning until they've practiced it for enough time where their body does start to signal to them that they're hungry. This is very educational. So these individuals, can they condition their body, like intermittent fasting? Can you condition your body to, those signals can now be elongated in between each meal? You can condition your body. You can condition your body to stop sending you hunger signals. Yes. Okay. And so the first thing we want to do is establish a schedule so that we can get those hunger signals back. Just because your body can do something doesn't mean that that's the optimal way for your body to do something. So yes, your body can go long periods of time without eating. You can practice intermittent fasting. It is not optimal for your body to utilize energy that way. And so we can bring it back to that. And so sometimes in the beginning when I'm working with someone, especially in the military where we are on our mission all day long and we stop paying attention to what our body is telling us and we go longer periods of time without eating, we might have to say, okay, we're going to start with some very planned times of eating. And then we're going to gradually start to notice what our body is telling us, and our body will come back to signaling hunger at an interval that we can then respond to.
If you put off eating during the day for long periods of time, can you educate me on what could be an impact when you do finally eat?
Well, I would ask you, what has happened to you when you have gone long periods of time without eating? What happens?
You ever see the cartoon where the guy or the character goes, oh, like the Cookie Monster?
Yes.
Yes.
And I think that is a very real lived experience for a lot of people when they go for long periods of time without eating, that they do experience this, I have to eat very fast. I need to eat a lot. I'm very hungry and I feel out of control around eating. And so if you start to notice that, you might think about, when I eat regularly throughout the day, does it make me feel like I am maybe just a little bit more in control? Now, there's still going to be things like pie that are so delicious, we might eat past our comfortable fullness when we have the opportunity. Like, I'm not going to make pie very often, so I'm going to be very excited if pie is available. And so I might eat past my comfortable fullness. I might feel like I ate what we might say is quote unquote a lot, right?
Yes.
But if I'm regularly eating throughout the day, that could look a lot different than if I'm someone who has maybe not eaten at all and now there's pie available.
So eating regularly throughout the day, now, especially during a holiday coming up, and I heard you state that don't wait for that moment where everybody's around the table having a meal. Take advantage of all day of eating. But as you take advantage of all day of eating, and you also stated, which is very educational, don't eat to get full. To the maximum, eat a little bit to satisfy that hunger that you're feeling, but not to get full if you eat throughout the day. Is that correct?
Kind of. So, in the military, again, we are all indoctrinated into this military culture of doing things, right? And there is a tendency, especially in the military, to eat very quickly, right?
Yes.
I feel like that's ingrained in you guys early on in your careers. So we want to slow down. So I think that's definitely something that we might want to think about. How can I stop and slow down and enjoy this food that is in front of me? And how can I pay attention to the signals that my body is going to tell me it is getting full? We're all going to eat past comfortable fullness. I like comfortable fullness is I'm satisfied. I'm no longer hungry. I'm not interested in eating this food, even if there's a lot available, because I've eaten to this comfortable level of fullness for myself. We've all probably eaten past comfortable fullness where we've eaten to the point where we're like, I need to change my pants. I need to lay down for a little bit. I need to stop moving, right? And if you don't enjoy the way that feels, and a lot of people don't enjoy the way that feels, by slowing down and paying attention to your fullness signals throughout your eating event, you might find that finding that sweet spot of stopping is easier to come by versus when we eat very quickly. We don't feel that until it's too late. And then we just have to navigate feeling that very full feeling.
Since our population here at Redstone and our community is very, very civilian centric and heavy, and we have soldiers, but honestly, our demographic is a little older demographic here at Redstone. Is there anything that we should do, especially over the holidays and just generally as an older demographic? Is there a way that we should prepare our food? Is there certain foods that we should eat to help us since we're older and things slow down?
Well, if by older you mean might we be navigating through some constipation, then yes, we could eat higher fiber foods, or we can add more fruits and vegetables throughout our day. We'll help our food move along throughout the day. Okay. So I think about some traditional things, like a lot of desserts are not, first of all, going to be tasty if you make them with whole grain options. They might come with a little bit more fat. And so that lower fiber and that higher fat just does digest a little slower. And so that might feel like it kind of slows down the whole process for us. Okay. And so by adding in more fruits and vegetables where we can, higher fiber foods where we can, we might feel like we don't run into that constipation that comes with some of our holiday cuisine.
should we prepare, because we have traditional meals, turkey, ham, depending on, turkey, ham, stuffing, cranberry sauce, macaroni and cheese, various other items. Is there anything we should incorporate into now some of these meals that may be higher in fiber, or vegetables, or certain vegetables we should eat or prepare to help with that?
I would only do that if it makes sense to you and the people that you're eating with, and it doesn't cause you to feel like you're having to really manipulate your menu. So what I mean by that is, I think that greens are a fantastic source of a lot of vitamins and minerals, including this is going to be a great way to add some fiber into a meal. And so if you can add greens to, I'm also having mac and cheese, what a great way to add some fiber, right?
Yes.
But my family or I might not enjoy mac and cheese made from whole grain pasta, maybe. Maybe we don't like that. Maybe we've already tried it, and we don't have to healthify everything just to make ourselves feel less guilty about these food choices. I think we need to feel our food feelings, think about what is really important to us, feel those food feelings about how what I want to eat and how I want to have it. And if it makes sense, we can change things. And if it doesn't make sense, then we don't have to change things.
So when soldiers, now let's talk about soldiers or anyone, like you said, who has access to the installation and access TRICARE to your services up there. Do you give advice? I don't know if that's the right word. Do you support their weight loss goals with, you said, items that make sense? Are there certain foods that you recommend that assist in weight loss goals?
No. There's no magic food that's going to cause you to lose weight more than other foods. Okay. And sometimes when we try to hone into a particular food or a particular food group, we are creating some disordered eating patterns. So as much as I can when I'm working with a client, while they may have weight loss goals, I try to take a weight neutral approach. What are behaviors that we are working on, and how can we work on them and not focus on our weight? I might feel better, less constipated, if I was eating a higher fiber diet. How could I add more fiber? My weight may or may not change, but I'm going to feel better because I'm going to have less constipation. I might feel better eating regularly throughout the day. I have more concentration to do my job. I have more energy to play with my kids. I have more ability to recover from the workout that I'm doing based on eating regularly throughout the day. But my weight might not change. So I think sometimes when we can step back from weight loss and diet culture and focus in on what is a health behavior around my food and my movement that I think will help me feel better, let me work on that for a little while. And then let me see if I feel better. And then I can kind of see if my weight changes if I want to. If I don't want to, you don't have to.
Okay, ma'am. Can you offer, I would like to have a more in-depth conversation with you so you can educate us, the community, because this is great information. And I believe there are a lot of myths that individuals that have been taught to us and spoken to us. And I would like to have another podcast so you can educate our community and clear up some of these myths. Do you have any holiday tips for diets?
Holiday tips for diets? What do you mean?
Okay, do you have any holiday tips for because now I don't want to use the holiday tips. So as individuals prepare their meals, some of the things that they can incorporate in their meals to better the body.
Okay. So we can always ask ourselves how to add more fruits and vegetables.
Okay.
We can always ask ourselves, is there a way to choose a whole grain option? Those are all good options. We can choose leaner meat if it makes us happy, right? Okay. And you don't have to do all of those, or you can if it makes sense to you. I would say as long as you're doing it from a space of peace with your food and it's not causing you to carry guilt or shame about the food choices that you do have, then it's all good.
Okay. Well, I appreciate this. It was very educational, and our audience knows that she gave some good information. Be at peace with you eat. Incorporate, if you choose to, fruits and vegetables, because that's very good. Take advantage of the food options that are available to you. And I would say do things in moderation. And please enjoy your holidays, enjoy your meals. And thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it.
Thank you.